All right, so 21-7. What does that mean? You know what it means. If you were up late in this side of the world, Michigan State. Of course, I'm a Michigan guy. I'm married into a Michigan family. Not only that, I'm married into a Michigan State Catholic family that moved from Ohio to Michigan. So for me to have a good year, we have to beat Notre Dame because they're Catholic. We got to beat Michigan State because that's where all, my wife's family went, and we got to beat Ohio State because, that's where they're from. So we barely lost to Notre Dame at their house. Michigan State, it was never in doubt. Never in doubt. They had, they were 0 for third down. I mean, they didn't convert a single third down the entire football game. And on top of that, Devin Bush at the beginning of the game goes and stomps all over that white helmeted logo they have in the middle of their field, and just disrespects them in the biggest way possible, and then he backs it up on the field. I mean, he backs it up. They stats were what? Their quarterback was 5 for 23. I think my little sister could do better than that, and she is barely 5 feet tall. Seriously, it was. How can you let somebody do that to you? How could you let somebody come to your house, okay, basically wipe his shoes on your rug and disrespect you, and then let him smack you around? I mean, smack you around. Michigan could have won by 20, 30 points in this game, okay? They missed a field goal, a lot of trips to the red zone were wasted. A couple of key fumbles. The only touchdown they got was when they were spotted at the 6-yard line. Okay, 1st and 6, basically on a turnover from Chris Evans. I don't think Chris Evans has touched the ball again during that game. But I mean, other than that, their defense. I mean, this was the team that went and beat Penn State in Penn State. Seriously, how bad is Penn State? And then what makes it sweeter is I'm just recovering from the 21-7, kind of smacking around little brother, And then I say, okay, let me check the other scores. And I check the scores, 21-6. End of the third quarter, Purdue, Ohio State 6, Purdue 21. I figured, okay, well, Ohio State will come back in the fourth quarter. I mean, 21-6. I figured Ohio State had maybe 8 fumbles and 4 interceptions and whatnot. They had 500 yards of offense. How did they do so badly? You know how they did so badly? Ohio State gave up 4 touchdowns in 1 quarter of football to a team that lost to Eastern Michigan, not Michigan State or Michigan, Eastern Michigan. I mean, Purdue lost to Eastern Michigan at home, and look, Ohio State is in full meltdown. I mean, guys were not committed to finishing their tackles. In garbage time, in where it's going to be a run because Purdue is trying to run out the clock. It's going to be a run. How do you give up 3 touchdowns on 40+ yards on runs? How does that happen? Yeah, the quarterback for Ohio State played well, considering he threw the ball 55 times. So you get 300, 400 yards of offense. Big deal. Oh, that game, there's something special about going down to the other guy's house and beating him at home. It's just something special about that. But this one against Michigan State, this one makes up for a game. See, my father-in-law had tickets, season tickets, to Michigan State games. So he would take me and his grandson, my son, Nick, who was basically, he was not old enough to understand what's going on. He just liked the pageantry and he liked the hot dogs. Boy, did he like the hot dogs. And so we used to go there and sit in, we had good seats. And it was always frightfully cold. And I remember one game we were ahead. And then Michigan State got the ball, drove it down to the 5-yard line. And time was running out. And so they got the first down at the 5-yard line. And then there was 1 second left. Okay? The guy, they spotted the ball. The clock didn't start to run. The quarterback got under center and he spiked the ball, and there was still 1 second left. That game pissed me off because it was obviously cheating. This makes up for it. This makes up for it. I remember after that game, you could buy shirts outside the stadium that said Michigan sucks on it. Yeah? We remember shit. Little brother, welcome to the best defense in the country. Now, there was a lot of talk about Michigan State being the best defense against the run in the country. Well, not after last night. Karen Higdon, which I think, it's a very funny name. I've never known anybody with the last name Higdon or the first name Karen, who's the guy. But he rushed for over 115 yards. Shea Patterson ran on him. They played some god-awful offense. I mean, the ineptitude on their offense was staggering. But a lot of it had to do with Felton Davis getting injured and leaving. Felton Davis, that guy is going to be playing Sundays. Yeah? But so is another guy named Donovan Peoples-Jones. That guy, there's a reason he was a 5-star receiver. And we saw it. Big catch. Shea Patterson, big improvement at the quarterback position. So now Michigan should rise to number 5 with 2 SEC teams in front of them. Obviously, look, it would be great to beat a number 2 Ohio State. That's not going to happen. Ohio State's going to fall out of the top 10. I figure Ohio State, because of that shellacking at Purdue, oh my gosh, shellacking at Purdue, is going to fall to probably number 15. And then I suspect Ohio State's got more losses coming. I suspect Michigan State's going to go and beat Ohio State as well. And so the end of the game sees, the game for Michigan, well, if Michigan is to make it to the playoffs, they'll have to beat Ohio State at Ohio State, and they'll probably have to play Wisconsin again for the Big Ten championship. I don't see how you can keep out a one-loss Big Ten champion. Notre Dame's not going to play anybody else. I mean, I guess they could lose to Northwestern somehow. But other than that, Notre Dame doesn't play. I mean, USC is crap. Syracuse, I guess, could kind of like surprise them. Syracuse has got some mojo this year. They're not, first time since Jim Brown that they've been anything. I guess Donovan McNabb came to Michigan with the option and beat them. So Notre Dame will be in the playoffs. LSU would have to beat Alabama at home, which could happen. I give them a 2% chance of doing that. And then Alabama would have to, Alabama or LSU would have to play Georgia for the SEC championship. So if Alabama loses and LSU plays Georgia for the SEC championship, what do you do with Alabama? Yeah, is Alabama gone? Notre Dame, let's say they're in. Michigan wins the Big Ten champion. Are you going to keep out a one-loss Big Ten champion over and you got to put in 2 SEC teams because one of them happens to be Alabama. I mean, how the fuck do you do you get into the playoff if you don't even win your own freaking division? Which is bullshit. I mean, let's just put it this way. If it wasn't for the college playoff system, Alabama would have won 1 championship in the last 10 years. Okay? It's simply because of the playoff system that Alabama gets another shot and another shot, which is fine because, the best team should win. It shouldn't come down to 1 game. I like the system. Okay? But Michigan, if they win out and they don't get to the college playoff, that's baloney because Alabama plays nobody. I mean, they play nobody. I mean, when we're scheduling to play, be a man, Saban. Okay? Schedule some real games. University of Louisiana Lafayette. Seriously? Those games are over at like the 5-minute mark of the first period. Okay? So, strength of schedule, if all of this means anything, Michigan will be ranked in the top 4 when it comes out, October 30th. And Notre Dame will be in there. Alabama or LSU, whichever wins that game, will be in there. And the 4th team, I guess, will be Clemson. Because I guess Clemson doesn't have to play anybody anymore either. The only tough team that we're going to play got rained out. So, which was, I guess, West Virginia got rained out. And it's not going to get rescheduled. So, Michigan, in one season, in order to get to the playoffs, would have to beat, the Michigan played Notre Dame on the road. They beat Wisconsin, shellacked them. They just basically said, here, we'll take your uniforms and we'll give you some civvies. We'll keep these as a trophy and just send Wisconsin packing. And then they went to Ohio and Michigan State and they beat another ranked team on the road. Next week they got to host Penn State, another ranked team, and beat them. Then they'll have to go to Ohio State and beat a ranked team. Then they'll have to go to the Big Ten Championship and beat a ranked team. How do you beat 6 top 25 teams, 5 out of 6 top 25 teams, and not make it? Whereas Ohio State, whereas Clemson plays nobody. 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 How does that happen? Strength of schedule means something. Michigan will go. Now, who will they play? I suspect Alabama's not going to go. Nobody's going to touch Alabama, I think, in the SEC. LSU is going to come close, but, they won't do it. Auburn is puke this year, so forget about that. So it'll be Michigan versus Alabama in one playoff game, and it will be Clemson versus Notre Dame in the other game. And then it'll be Michigan and Notre Dame playing for the national championship. You heard it here first. And Michigan will beat Notre Dame. That's right. I'm predicting right here, Michigan's going to be the national champion. If you got anything to say about it, come on, say something. Say something. Come on. This is a rock solid prediction. Okay? Say something. You got something to say? I don't think so. Sparty, you got something to say? Sparty, I'm calling you out. Say something, Sparty. Come on. Ohio State. If Purdue just knocked your fake teeth out and laughed at you and gave you a steak and said, chew on it, baby. Ohio State. I'm telling you, if there's a state that's in the Union but should have been in the South, it's Ohio State. Those people are so, well, I'm not going to say much. I will say this. Best fight song is Michigan's. But they got a fight song in Michigan State too. And it goes a little something like this. Go to state at MSU, learn to count to 10. If you go and screw it up, well, you can do it again. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, shoot. We're so dumb at MSU, we don't really care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy cow, we're halfway there. Well, Motor City Bowl is waiting for you, MSU. Yeah, enjoy.